Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today I'm putting on my Chief Operating Officer hat because we are going to talk about operations, efficiency, and exactly how you scale your team's workflow. What we're looking at today is the definitive management playbook for completely transforming how you interact with artificial intelligence. Because right now, let's be honest, most professionals are stuck at what we call level 1. They're using AI for really quick, isolated tasks, but today, we're going to systematically map out how to transition to level 2, which is all about turning a basic, everyday tool into a deeply integrated digital coworker. Okay, let's dive into this. There's this brilliant observation that I think perfectly illustrates the critical failure of level 1 usage. The vast majority of users just open up an AI interface, ask a random question, get an answer, and then close the tab. Maybe they write a quick email or they ask it to summarize an article. But as the quote says, they keep treating it like a search bar that happens to return paragraphs. And look, it's useful, sure, but it is literally the absolute floor of what's possible. You might save 30 minutes a day, but you are completely missing out on continuity, organization, and tool integration. And ultimately, that leads to a massive waste of time and tons of repetitive manual input. To really wrap our heads around the gap here, think about it like hiring an intern. A level 1 setup is essentially like having a brilliant intern who has absolute amnesia. Every single time you give them a task, you have to completely re-explain your business, your tone of voice, your goals, and every past decision you've made. It's incredibly frustrating, right? But a level 2 system is that exact same brilliant intern, except now they remember every single conversation you've ever had. They have a folder right on their desk with all your project documents, and they already know your preferences. The relief of moving from that manual data entry and repetitive prompting over to a contextual, automated system is exactly what we're building today. So here is our structured roadmap for today. 1. The level 1 bottleneck. 2. Projects as your workflow spine. 3. Using connectors to link your tools. 4. Our configuration checklist. And finally, 5. Reclaiming your team's time. All right, let's kick things off with section 1, the level 1 bottleneck, and the very real cost of starting from zero. It's actually kind of wild how a stateless tool completely fails when you compare it to a continuous workflow. Imagine you just open a fresh chat next Tuesday and you casually type, "Hey, what did we decide about the Q2 launch last week?" Well, a level 1 setup fails completely right there. It has absolutely no idea who you are, what Q2 means, or what you were talking about last week. You'd have to go digging through your old files and manually paste everything back in. But a level 2 setup, it instantly pulls up the answer. It cites the exact conversation and it picks up right where you left off. It completely 100% eliminates that starting from zero problem. Which brings us to section 2, projects. This is your workflow spine, and really, it's the main doorway to level 2. Think of these 3 steps as your ultimate organizational cheat code. Step 1, pick a recurring workflow. This could be your weekly reporting, maybe a side hustle or team management, and just create a project. Step 2, drop in your reference docs. Upload your business guidelines, past reports, basically anything relevant. And step 3, write a system prompt. This is just a really quick set of instructions detailing who you are, what your business does, and exactly how you want the AI to respond. By executing these 3 active steps, every single time you start a new chat inside that project, it's already fully preloaded with your context. You literally never have to explain yourself again. And when you combine that new project spine with features like memory and search, you achieve true operational efficiency. Because now the system actively recalls your role, your preferences, and even those little decisions you made weeks ago. When you blend this persistent memory with the knowledge base that you just uploaded into your project, you permanently eliminate the need for repetitive onboarding. Your digital coworker is just always up to speed. Moving on to section 3, connectors. This is where we link your team tools and finally end the copy-paste era. So if projects are the spine, connectors are absolutely the nervous system. The AI natively connects to over 50 different tools, completely bypassing the need for manual data transfers. You just click a little plus button, pick your tool, and sign in securely with OAuth. Instead of hunting around for information, you simply ask the AI to summarize threads from a specific Slack channel from last week, or you can tell it to pull the latest spec document directly out of your team's Google Drive. You can even have it check what's on your calendar for the week. It securely goes into your shared drives, fetches the exact data you need, and brings it right into your preloaded workflow. No copying, no pasting. Let's look at section 4 now, the configuration checklist. This is your new standard operating procedure. Now, if you're a project manager, this standard operating procedure right here is basically your new Bible. Every new initiative you spin up needs to follow this SOP. First, create the project spine. Second, upload the relevant business docs so the AI actually has a brain to pull from. Third, Define that specific system prompt to dictate the output tone and the rules. Fourth, authenticate your connectors, like Slack or Google Drive, so your data flows in automatically. And fifth, utilize inline visuals. This is such a brilliant feature. Basically, if a chart or a diagram explains something better than a wall of text, the AI will just build one live, right inside the chat. You can drop in a CSV, have it visualize the data, and even swap out the chart types or compare options side by side on the fly. It's a game changer. Once you actually implement that checklist, you're going to experience a profound paradigm shift in how your entire team operates. The core directive is so simple. Stop brainstorming and start delivering. The AI transitions from being this novelty tool that just spits out ideas and text paragraphs into a true deliverable tool that produces finished, professional assets. And that brings us perfectly to Section 5, reclaiming your team's time and measuring the tangible ROI. Because here are the concrete deliverables a Level 2 setup actually provides. The system doesn't just give you plain text that you have to go copy into a spreadsheet. It creates actual downloadable Excel spreadsheets with working formulas. It can function as a native add-on inside Microsoft Office, literally reading your multi-tab workbooks with cell-level citations. In PowerPoint, it reads your existing slide master, your specific fonts, your layouts, and your brand colors to output fully client-ready files. And then there are artifacts. This is persistent storage where a non-coder on your team can generate a functioning web app, say a live customer feedback tracker, save it, and then send a public link out to the team right before launch, all generated just through conversation. And it refreshes the data instantly. When you combine the project spine, the connectors, the memory, and these actual deliverable files, here is the baseline metric you need to know: 5+ hours. That is the exact minimum amount of professional time saved per person per week once Level 2 is fully implemented across your team. This is the exact threshold where building proper workflow systems radically, and I mean radically, pays for itself. So I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Is your team still starting from zero? Are you still acting like Level 1 users, treating highly advanced intelligence like it's just a basic search bar? Look, it's time to stop the amnesia, stop the manual copying and pasting, and start building the structural systems that turn AI into a fully integrated coworker. Implement the checklist, scale your operations, and reclaim your time. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.